What's up, folks? Now I have an interesting one for you today. It's called MoreBNB. It hasn't launched yet. As you can see, hopefully by the time I upload this, you're still gonna have 1 to 2 days left to do more research. Now they took bits and pieces of protocols you're most probably familiar with, like Rex and Avarice, but the structure is essentially evidently a bit different, and it's pretty interesting. I did have time to look over this and study it more, and this is what we're going to be discussing in the video, an overview of how everything works out together and how you can start earning using the platform as soon as it launches. So yeah, let's get into this. Alright, to start things off, you need to understand that More, the native token of the platform itself, is something that you need to acquire as much as you can if you plan on earning dividends a bit later on. And to do so, there are actually two ways. Through auctions on the lobby section, and if you're not familiar with this, there's basically a number of tokens available every single day up for grabs. Everyone contributes BNB, they get a portion of this in return. And through locked staking, but that is secondary because you need to actually stake your More tokens and lock them to earn a bonus. So yeah, like I said, you exchange BNB for More in the daily auctions, and then there's gonna be on day one 3 million tokens up for grabs, and that number will decrease by 1% every single day up until it reaches 1 million as a floor, and after that it's 1 million every day. So now the locks, going back to the lock staking part, like I said, because the name of the game is to lock your More tokens at the end. So if you do that, you're not only gonna earn BNB as dividends, but also you're gonna be earning more tokens, which in turn, if you stake them, gives you more BNB. Because that's the goal of the platform, to participate and to get your passive income in terms of BNB. And there are actually 4 ways to do so. So the one that I'm discussing right now is the part where you stake your More tokens to get a portion of the BNB that is going to be contributed. The second option is through a leader bonus. Third option, a top sponsor pool. And the fourth option, the biggest buyer pool. And all of these we're going to tackle very shortly to understand how these work. Alright, so building on of what I've just illustrated earlier, all the BNBs contributed on a daily basis are going to be all put together into a pool, and the distribution is as follows. I mentioned the ways to earn BNB dividends, and the main one is of course through the More staking pool. 75% of all of this goes there, 8% to the leader pool, 4% to the top sponsor, and 3% to the biggest buyer. If you do the math, there's a 10% missing. I'm going to mention that shortly. Now, the first way to earn BNB dividends, you stake your More tokens either through a normal stake, so you can unstake anytime, but you pay a fee of 10%, and you can do locked stakes for a certain period of time, and you earn a bonus of More tokens on top of the BNB and dividends. Of course, BNB dividends depend on how much you have in the pool and how many people are in. Now, the scalability of the addition of BNB inside the pool is something that I'm gonna tackle a small portion of the white paper, but essentially, for example, if there's 100 BNB contributed on day 2 of the protocol, then it's going to be split and added 50 on day 2 and 50 on day 3 to the dividend pool, so on and so forth. Again, I'm going to show the graph. So the second way to earn is through the leader pool, and this is essentially where you as a team leader register a team, and then you get 10% of each cycle of deposits of your team members. So let's assume that your team deposited 1 BNB, that's cycle 1, you get 0.1 BNB. 10 BNB is cycle 2, you get 1 BNB, so on and so forth. I'm going to show also this graph inside the white paper as well. And it's also scalable through levels. So level 1 is 100% of the 10% is yours. Level 2, I think, is 20% of the 10% if one of your team members decide to build their own team. So third way is the top sponsor pool, meaning the more people use your referral link to deposit, the higher the chances for you is to get a portion of this top sponsor pool. So let's assume you are the top sponsor inside the day 1 of the lobby. You're gonna get 40%, second place 30, 20, 10% of the contribution into the top sponsor pool. The biggest buyer pool, which is the fourth way to earn, is very straightforward. 10% of this pool is gonna be given to the person who contributes the more amount of BNB at the end of the day. Sorry, the most amount of BNB. Excuse my small grammar mistake. at the end of the day, and the 10% that I left aside at the beginning of the video is gonna be split 4% for buybacks into the pool, 3% for development, 3% for marketing to keep the ball rolling and expose the platform to more people. Alright, so now I said I want to reference a few things from the white paper because some graphs couldn't fit in my illustrative visual representations. So first one is the scalability of the more staking pool, like I said. So on day 2, for example, if there's 100 BNB, it's going to be split 50-50 in the upcoming days. So on the third day, they're going to add 50 BNB to the pool. On the first day, another 50 BNB, and the split goes on. So after that, it's split by 3, by 4, by 5, all the way up until it's split by 30. And then after that, it remains as such. So whatever is contributed on day 30 is going to be split by 30 and be added to the more staking pool as we move on. Now again, another thing, the leader bonus cycle. So I said that you get 10% of your team as cycles progress. So meaning first cycle is 1 BNB, you get 10% of that up until cycle number 8, and after that is cycle number 9, for example, you need to have 1000 BNB from your team members that are deposited inside the BNB pool, so inside the lobby, and then it's going to remain as such. You get 10% on the first level, and it's scalable up until level 10, where for example, if your team member decide to create his own team, you're going to get 20% of these 10% whenever he accrues them and whenever he can collect them. And you can see how it scales down all the way to 0.25% from level 10 as he builds his team and goes through the cycles. So yeah, that's essentially what I wanted to mention. And yeah, I spoke about the top sponsor pool, where people who basically have their team sponsored the most, they're gonna get a portion of whatever the pool represents. Alright guys, that's it from me today. Thank you for sticking around and listening to everything I had to say. Now, of course, this is not the only research you should be looking at in order to make up your mind if you want to enter the protocol. Now, I'm sure there are more videos on the tube. Even on the main page of the website, I'm gonna scroll, you can go over and check the white paper. There's a lot more details to everything I talked about today. Join the Telegram, ask your questions, dig deeper. There's also an FAQ section, and also go ahead, access the dashboard, see how it is. So here it is in front of you. The illustration is pretty cool, pretty interesting. Everything should be visible, and there are also tutorial videos on how things operate in more details. So yeah, check all of these things out before you make up your mind, and a sub to the channel would be amazing. It really gives us new content creators around the block more motivation to dish out more valuable content for everyone and expose this word we love the most to more people. So thank you and appreciate you in advance for doing so. As always, take care of your finances and trade responsibly. This was Roy with DeFi Ascension. Thanks for watching.